Welcome, Mike Nutley from District 18 House. We appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing your thoughts with us. I just want to go through a few ground rules and then we'll just get right into our introduction and questions here. The South Dakota Property Rights and Local Control Alliance, SDPRLCA, thanks you for participating in our 2026 primary legislative candidate video survey. As a nonpartisan grassroots organization, SDPRLCA is dedicated to protecting private property rights and maintaining local authority. Following the 2024 general election, where 65 of 66 South Dakota counties voted no on Referred Law 21, voters are eager to hear where the 2027 legislative class stands on these core issues. In our ground rules for tonight, we'll have a minute and a half for an introduction. There are 5 targeted questions that focus specifically on property rights and local control, and you've been able to look at those ahead of time. And then we'll allow 2 minutes per response. And then there'll be a 2-minute closing statement. The recordings tonight will be on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website. And so we'll go ahead and get started as soon as I get my watch going here. All right, so our introduction. I'd like you to introduce yourself to the voters, and please tell us about your background, your connection to your district, and what specific conviction or event led you to step forward and run for the South Dakota Legislature in 2026.
Okay, well, thanks for having me. My name is Mike Nutley. I'm running for House District 18. My background is I've lived here in this county for 43 years. Where I met my wife, married her, and we've raised our 3 kids, and we now have 9 grandkids. So I'm very concerned about the future for my kids and my grandkids, and that's why I'm doing this. The thing that led me up to this, the biggest thing was the wind towers. Been fighting this fight, and I decided to go to the next level with it, I guess.
Right, thank you. We'll jump into our first question. It's district specific. What do you identify as the primary property rights issue in your district, and what is your single most serious concern regarding it? Resource depletion, loss of local control, or unintended consequences?
Well, our primary property rights issue in Yankton County or District 18 has been the development of wind towers. The biggest concern was the loss of local control, not meaning local government, but the people who live here, the residents, the people that are going to be affected by it. The majority of the residents that live in the affected township attended numerous county commission meetings to voice their opposition to the project. And despite overwhelming local concern, the county commissioners moved forward and essentially dismissed the wishes of the people most directly impacted. I'm on Turkey Valley Township Board as a supervisor, and we were going to be the ground zero for the wind tower thing. So this affected me both where I live and what I have to do as a township supervisor. Additional and very serious concern was the appearance of conflict of interest. The brother of the chairman of the county commission stood to become the largest recipient of wind tower contracts. Despite being an absentee landowner, when the citizens confronted the chairman about this conflict, he claimed there was none and still cast the deciding vote on the project. That left many residents feeling their voices were no longer mattered and decisions were being made for the benefit of a few individuals rather than the community as a whole.
All right, let's move into a related question is number 2 is action plan. So what specific legislative action or policy change would you champion to address this issue?
I would champion repealing or reforming laws that take the decision-making power away from local communities and property owners. Elected officials should listen to the people of their district and vote according to the wishes and the best interests of the majority present, not based on personal agendas or special interest groups or corporations. When citizens elect someone to office, and I really do believe this with all my heart, they're trusting that person to be their voice in the government. That responsibility should always come before political favors, corporate influence, or personal gain. I believe government works best when it's transparent, accountable, and focused on protecting the rights and the concerns of the people who actually live in the affected areas by these decisions.
All right. Question number 3. Core components. Property rights involves the right to possess, control, exclude, enjoy, and dispose. How is the right to control at risk from state mandates in your district, and how will you protect it?
The right to control is at risk when the residents and communities no longer have a meaningful voice in decisions that directly affect their land, property values, and way of life. In our district, local control begins with the Planning and Zoning Board, which reviews projects and makes recommendations to the County Commission. However, in cases involving wind energy projects, once the Commission approves the project, it moves on to the PUC, which consists of only 3 members. The concern is that the project only has to meet 4 criteria with the PUC before the permits are issued. Residents have very limited ability to challenge or appeal these decisions. Many people feel their voices are effectively shut out of the process when it reaches the state level. And we were definitely feeling that as far as where you appeal to. That was and I believe the system needs stronger public representation and accountability. The PUC should be expanded to at least a 5-member board to allow for a broader perspective, fairer decision making. In addition, there should be a formal public appeals process so residents can have a real opportunity to challenge decisions that affect their property rights and local communities. Protecting local control means ensuring that people most impacted by these projects continue to have a meaningful voice throughout the entire process.
Very good. And number 4 is about eminent domain. Under what specific circumstances, if any, do you believe eminent domain should be used for projects owned by private corporations?
Eminent domain for private use is unacceptable in my world. No corporation should be allowed to come in onto private property and force its will for private gains. Our eminent domain laws have been in effect since 1889, and that alone speaks volumes. I cannot think of a single instance where private eminent domain would help or increase a property's value. The only time eminent domain should be considered is for a public use project, such as roads or necessary infrastructure project. And then the landowner should be fully compensated at market value.
Very good. Our 5th question is about local control. Describe a scenario in which local control is not enough protection.
So once again, local control failed us in Yankton County. The commission did not listen to the residents' wishes. I'm on the board of the township that was to be affected. And in order to protect our property, we were forced to spend some of our very limited resources, money, for our township to hire an attorney to represent us and adopt special ordinances to protect our roads and right-of-ways from the effects of the construction of the wind towers. We could not stop the project outright, but we could slow it down by creating weight limits, keeping transmission lines out of our right-of-ways, and not allowing plows to cross our roads. Unfortunately, we had some help from our neighboring county with a moratorium, and it worked out in our favor this time. But immediately upon the wind tower project did get shut down in our district. Immediately following that, the commissioner and company that I talked about moved straight on to data centers. So we're fighting an uphill battle down here. Everybody in the state is.
Yeah. All right. We're on to our final little section here is the closing. As we head toward the June 2nd primary, it's vital that voters know how to reach their potential representatives. For our final 2 minutes, please let the folks in District 18 know how they can contact you directly, where they can pick up a sign to show their support, or how they can join your team as a volunteer, and how to give donations.
Okay, well, can go to my Facebook page, Mike Nutley for House. I have a Mike Nutley for House campaign and a website, MikeNutleyForHouse.com, MikeNutleyForHouse@gmail.com. And believe me, I can use all the help I can get. But that's all I've got. I'm just hoping and praying that this works out and that I get to go to Pier in January.